Don't you feel silly? Don't you feel...
My power has been unmatched as I help my lonesome teammate run through the game known as Wolong. This fool dare mocks my friend as his back is turned to me. I shall surely show this buffoon the power of God before he even has a chance to glance upon my... What is going on, everyone? So as you can tell, I may or may not have found my new favorite martial art for PvP. This martial art that we're going to be going over today is something I've been given more love to in the last few hours than my dad has given me in my entire life. This thing is beyond fun to use, and it is extremely versatile after its buffs from patch 1.07. But anyways, before we get into the video, I actually upload Wolong content daily, so we go over some of the biggest changes we've gotten in the latest patch, so be sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you're curious about the patch notes that I'm talking about, then my video that I've already uploaded going over everything will be linked down below in the description. Okay, so let's go over this amazing martial art that I am talking about. This martial art is actually called Feasting Urine. Guys, please, I promise you, it's definitely, the S is silent, alright? The S is definitely silent, I swear, it is definitely not Ursine or Ursine, it's silent, trust me. This martial art makes it so you jump up in the air and fling your weapon down, and it causes a shockwave of damage. Additionally, if you use this martial art with positive spirit, it actually gives you hyper armor, so you can tank through some hits before jumping in the air. Which, now, with this change, it isn't necessary, but it's still very nice. What's crazy about this is that it wasn't actually a big change, it was a very simple change. Literally all they did was just shorten the startup sequence. Before the patch, you did this little charge up animation before jumping into the air, and then half the time you just got hit out of the animation, or if you have positive spirit and had that hyper armor passive from it, then you just kind of got beat on the floor before you even got a chance to jump in the air. Now, this jump is instantaneous. There is no delay or slight charge up to it anymore, meaning it is super nice to just throw out almost at any moment. Most people before the patch always saw this coming and would just deflect the attack no problem. Now with how fast it is, it's so viable using it on the fly. For example, a lot of these clips, I'll be attacking someone else and then the host runs up on me and I'm almost instantly able to cast this out of my attack and catch them as they're trying to attack me. Once in the air, I believe you get iframes because multiple times it would seem like people would hit me, but I would just go right over their attacks apparently. Even whenever they would cast a spell on me, it just wouldn't do anything to me. So yeah, I believe there are slight iframes to it. So as you can tell, even with just these slight changes can make a martial art outrageously powerful. The damage on this move is very high, but you do need to know that there are two hits to this attack. There's the shockwave it outputs itself when it hits the ground, and then there's the glaive itself also does some extra damage hitting the opponent. So if you can hit with both of these, it does big damage. And as you will see in a lot of these clips, sometimes it just flat out one-shots them. And on the plus side, it's kind of a range attack, so if people deflect it, then it doesn't affect you in any way. So high damage, iframes, great for mix-ups, and can't be deflect interrupted? Just because of these reasons, that can make this martial art one of the best moves in the entire game in the right hands. A player who knows his timings with his weapon can catch people off guard. It can be very devastating. I remember before this buff, when I was making some videos going over a lot of the martial arts that were viable at the time, a couple of my subscribers told me to check this one out, and I just remember playing like 3 invasions with it and instantly said, never again. Just because that wind-up animation at the beginning, it just made the move so easy to read, so it was basically just saying, oh hey, deflect this. And if you didn't have positive spirit to get the hyper armor, I just always got knocked out of the animation anyways, so it was pretty much useless and I decided not to make a video on it. Now I am extremely grateful for this buff. Glaives, as you all OG viewers know, are my favorite weapon, so having my favorite weapon with an extremely versatile martial art like this just works perfectly for me. This martial art easily rivals that of Lubu's weapons martial art we went over the other day. On top of all those amazing things I said a second ago, this martial art also works well as a wake-up move. So you're now able to critical blow someone and use his martial art as a wake-up attack to hit them on the floor for some extra damage, just because of how much faster this attack comes out. The change on this martial art made it easily go from like a C tier martial art to an S tier instantly. That just really once again goes to show you how little changes can make huge outcomes for something in this game, and I am glad Team Ninja understands that. In PvE, it is extremely good for picking off little mobs. If you're not comfortable with like deflecting attack, going up in the air where they can't even hit you and dealing damage to the mobs is very nice. On top of that, shockwave, being able to hit multiple enemies in a little group while being protected overhead is definitely really good. If you're interested in the build that I run with this, then we can go over that right now. The stats I have are 35 for amplified damage and overpowered burst for, you know, just that extra damage we want. 37 earth since this weapon scales decently with this virtue, and we want this to be able to wear our armor without being too heavy. Then 82 metal being our main virtue that our weapon scales off of, so this is very important to have. And then of course for the armor, it's what I run for any of these martial art builds I use, being the Lubu's armor, since it gives us a set bonus that grants us 11.4% more martial art damage and a few other minor things. And then for embedment, since Lubu's armor is very picky, we just want to slap on more martial arts damage. The rest of the slots are completely up to you. I never even like wanted to change them because I don't need them. I'll be real, they're very much not important to me. And of course, you can have whatever spells you want. I personally just recommend amplified damage 100%. That should be in every build you ever make. And then, if you really want to just constantly one-shot people, you can put on overpowered burst. But as you saw even in this video, I really didn't use it all that much. But overall, my thoughts on this change is that it's just amazing. Just speeding up one thing made this martial art tied with being my favorite, right up there with Lubu's weapons martial art. The power at the low spirit cost on top of the protections in mid-air with something that doesn't get interrupted if you get deflected, easy S tier martial art. One of the best, hands down. Anyways, that's going to do it from me, everyone. Let me know what you think about this change in the comments down below, and let me know if there's any other of these martial art skills you'd like me to go over that got buffed or nerfed from the recent patch. But I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of these clips, and have a good one. Peace.